Back, we're here for their daily dose of the Mr. Cat Invitational. Absolutely wonderful stuff coming up. I'm Lyrical, and to my left by about 3,000 miles or so is going to be Gareth. How you doing, sir?
Hey, dude. What's up?
Not a whole heck of a lot. We're just here ready to cast some great Dota 2. I'm excited. It's Vega Squadron versus Prodota Gaming. You've been able to watch a lot of the matches, obviously, but since we're still in that first round of brackets, I believe this is your first look at Vega versus Prodota. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's their first series. These two teams have been on a bit of a streak recently as well. The last team to actually defeat Vega in a series in like a best of three was Prodota 2-0 like 2-3 weeks ago. I think these two teams, looking at like their recent matches and their recent drafts, are probably two of the most equally matched, like in this stage of the bracket, definitely from the games we've seen previously. But there's also like Dream League to take into account, right? Because Vega's in Dream League, and they're taking games off, Team Secret and Navi and all these other teams. So after those results, I kind of want to put Vega ahead, especially when PD has like a very, relatively new roster, right, compared to what they had at Kiev Major Qualifiers.
Right. And I think that the other thing, too, is you talk about like I don't know if I want to say like veteran qualities necessarily, because the Prodota Gaming guys have been around for a long time as well. You look at people like 3-3 and Milan and Garter. I feel like I've been casting these guys in like the Join Dota League since like 10 years. I don't know, forever. It's been forever. They've been around a while.
Even J4 and Kaiser, like J4 was back on Power Rangers, Kaiser on the original London Conspiracy that kind of rose to fame through all of these tier 2 tournaments. These like PD is honestly like the mix of all EU mixes.
Right.
It has had like honestly, alongside KP, Prodota probably has one of the highest player turnovers of any team, just because they keep changing roster and trying to find a new way to play, bringing in pub stars and old Matt. Come With Me's played on this team, Boogie's played on this team, right. Cheshire Cat. They had the Hon guys, Mika and Insania, who are now over. Insania's on NIP, but it looks like Mika might be joining. The fact he's standing in so often for them.
I mean, who really knows what's going to end up happening with all the roster shuffles that are going on?
Yeah.
And you mentioned this beforehand. It's like, how many of these teams are going to be teams after this event?
Exactly.
So we'll get a good look at it, but I'm expecting big things from Vega Squadron here, like you said as well. You have a strong team in Prodota Gaming, but Vega Squadron, I feel like, have been on a tear. They just played a match, like literally right before this in the Summit qualifiers as well, where they won. It was off the back of a G Invoker, and I think that it was Aloha. Well, excuse me, the Rio. Now we got to make sure we get his name right. It's not Aloha Dance, but he was playing Terrorblade, and they just dominated, which was cool to see as well.
I love that you bring up G, because I honestly feel that he has not found his like full form of glory, but he's definitely getting back into his groove. Because when we were looking at G, when he was still playing for VP back at like Epicenter, it was at that moment when the CIS scene kind of exploded. All the teams broke up. They formed, VP Polar and Spirit and all of these sort of smaller cluster teams. And G kind of lost himself, I feel, for like the past maybe 6 months or something.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to show that with heroes like Death Prophet and Queen of Pain coming back, SF and Invoker obviously two of his big staples, but TA, like G playing TA and Death Prophet, that takes you back to like a year ago when he was demolishing consistently like every mid in Europe. So it feels good to have the good old G back, honestly, for Vega.
Absolutely. I remember I was, talking to a couple of the Empire guys too about it, and they were all about G, saying how good this guy was, and thinking that he was going to form a really good team. And then you've also got Silent now. Silent's come back. He's playing no longer Gyrocopter. Maybe they'll pick it up in the support role. Who knows? But that's really cool to see as well. But let's talk about the draft, because we've been just, kerfuffling all over the place, not talking about anything else. Tree and Protector first phase. Then we got the Clockwork CM, and then a Rubik taken. So, and they're gonna take the Invoker for themselves. That's an early pick. Do you like taking it that early in the draft, or do you think because the supports there's not like a hard counter, it's kind of okay?
I'm a big fan of early Invoker picks because he can do so much. He's a hero that, doesn't necessarily require babysitting in the mid lane, because you can always fall back into the jungle. But especially when you're against opponents that are likely to pick Invoker themselves, if it's not banned out in the second stage and not picked in the first stage, I feel like it's a very good block pick, but also something PD have really focused on here. You've got Hookshot into Cogs with Sunstrike combo there, Frostbite Sunstrike combo. So even if this Invoker's under pressure in mid lane, you can always fall back on those kills to bring yourself like back in with a Hand of Midas.
Oh, totally. It just maybe is built around like, also taking a couple of other heroes that can get things done early. And we just talk about how they ran the Terrorblade in the last game. It's a hero that I feel like might work okay in this game. It solves the problem that they have of like needing some sort of damage right now, somebody that can get things done, since we know the Invoker is not going to be doing much more than sending out Sunstrikes in those early levels. And also, I feel like the hero is just incredibly powerful right now.
Who, TB?
Yeah.
He is, right? But I'm still struggling to put my finger on exactly why he's so strong.
Yeah.
Because there are so many like cool elements to him. His Metamorphosis is sick. The split push from Illusions is great. Having a team fight winning ability like Sunder to just literally flip the switch and flip things on its head in the middle of a team fight against core heroes is amazing.
Right.
But I feel like it's just his timing. He's a feel-good hero. You hit creeps for like 7-8 minutes, then you go push mid-tier 1, then you go bot tier 1, you move across the map. It's like the flow of the hero just fits the way the game's played right now.
Yeah, I think Reflection, too, needs to be adjusted. That spell is so strong for, like, the fact that you have a hero that can hit towers that hard and then also has an amazing, like, team fight ability is dumb. And he's just going to destroy Juggernaut with that.
Especially against like Radiance, carriers and auras and stuff like that. It's like a Darkseal wall on steroids that's not an ultimate and doesn't cost much mana and has a relatively low cooldown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they are going to take it, and Juggernaut taken for Prodota Gaming. You also have that Invoker, so that's a way to burst the Terrorblade if you can find a nice little early start to the Invoker. But I don't know. Actually, I don't mind the Prodota Gaming's draft so much. The Clockwork is still a little bit iffy for me. What do you think they still need to accomplish, or where might be their hangups?
Oh, that's what I'm looking at exactly as well as the Clockwork, because for the first 3 picks, my head kind of locks in offlane Clockwork is going to be the 3. But with the Juggernaut picked up, I'm wondering if they actually move Clockwork to like a 4 role. It's becoming a little more popular now in Europe and the CIS region, of having like a roaming Clockwork to deal with Treant, because you can burn his mana. You're very good at sort of carrying sentries and dust around, but this hero actually deals nicely against Spirit Breaker, Treant, to some extent like Bounty and Ricky, but like not as well as a Spirit Breaker would. You just kind of track them around the map and make sure that they don't disrupt your lanes too much. Because right now the biggest problem for Prodota is clearing TB illusions, especially early game, like 15-25 minutes. They have big struggles.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk all we want about Invoker Tornado cooldown and all that stuff. That's level 25. It's a while before we get to that point. So we'll see if it is that they want to go for. Timbersaw in the offlane possibility. It's still tough against Nyx, but
that's the scary thing, I think, is that Nyx Assassin so difficult when he can just like move off from his offlane, come and gank mid or safe, like wherever he wants to go, he just pops up and kills you. But I'd love to see PD go for some kind of wave clear offlane, but I don't know. It's a hard one.
A lot of the good ones get countered by Nyx Assassin. That's really the problem.
Yeah. Well, especially when Legion and Magnus are banned out first phase by themselves. Vega have like exploited this almost perfectly, and now they've got G Mirana.
Ooh, a throwback.
That's a throwback. Yeah.
Well, it's certainly going to hit a nice timing here. You get that Aghanim Scepter done from Mirana. I'm assuming that's the build he's going to be going for, and then you sort of have that. Well, I don't know. Before the Ags comes out, do you think Terrorblade's going to make enough space? Like, this lineup from Prodota feels like it could try and push early, depending upon what this last pick is.
I feel like PD still struggled to kill heroes between, like, Nyx with his high base regen in lane, with living armor on top of, TB and or Mirana, who have high agi already. Killing in lane is so, like, because to get to, like, a tier 1 to actually take it down, you either have to kill your opponents or shove them out of lane so they have to go and shrine or back to fountain, right? Like, that's a very basic principle. But if you can't do step A, how do you get to step B?
I mean, my dream is just take a Chen or an Enchantress right here. That would be awesome.
And play mega aggro with it?
Yeah. I don't know if that's their style of play necessarily, but I guess the Mirana could probably deal with some of those creeps early too with the arrow. Still tough.
I still, yeah, like I kind of want them to pick Ricky, but then at the same time, I definitely don't want them to pick Ricky. Like I think Sand King is probably one of the only heroes that's remaining that can kind of go off lane or 4, have some kind of wave clear once he's got levels, some kind of initiative. Oh, there's Darkseer. Oh,
of course.
We forgot about Darkseer, dude.
What a hero, honestly. He does everything that they need. Well, we got the Darkseer as the last pick. Ion Shells out the wazoo. Do you like the decision, the position for Clockwork? You said that you thought that's what it'd be. Do you agree with them?
Yeah, I like it. Like as soon as they picked the Invoker, and then when the Juggernaut got like snap picked straight after, like my mind literally went and said, "Hey, that's a 4 Clockwork," because of how the Treant's gonna be roaming around, because of what they need with the Sunstrikes to allow Kaiser to have a decent laning stage, or at least mitigate his poor laning stage. But against the Mirana, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. But yeah, I like PD's draft. I just like Vega's more.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see it. I personally, when I look at this draft, the one thing that I think is Vega Squadron have a Terrorblade, they win. So that's kind of where I'm sitting from. But we'll see if that's indeed going to be the case or not, or if Prodota Gaming can overcome the big bad man himself. It's going to be tough too, because like for Juggernaut, I guess the way that you see this is like you have a Darkseer Ion Shell on top of the Jug, and then you go in. But I just feel like in the later stages, Terrorblade's just going to use Reflection and just destroy him.
He's just going to eat you.
Yeah. I guess
I think PD, if they can weather the storm of the first like 35 minutes, I think PD scale. No, like I say, like I mean, as long as they don't like lose a lane of racks by like 30 minutes, I think they're in with a good shot, because they definitely scale better. You know, Darkseer, Juggernaut, and Invoker, the biggest one. You know, you mentioned his Tornado talent, but he is probably one of the scariest heroes. Oh, have you not seen this yet?
None of them have a compendium?
No, they do. It's just bugged.
They thank God.
Yeah. They still get the like towers relevant to their level in game as well. It just doesn't show on this screen. Like if you go to the Dire Towers, they're all, or even the Radiant ones, they've got the kind of they've slotted or they've unslotted, like a jigsaw puzzle, I guess.
Okay. Which one do you think is cooler, the Radiant or the Dire Towers? Who has the better compendium? I think Dire's is better.
Yeah, Dire's is definitely better. Hey, it's got the bigger head.
Heyo.
Yeah, I noticed. No, they are very phallic towers.
Okay.
Like, honestly, if you look at them, like there's nothing else you can see.
Yeah. Oh, poor towers. Well, early movement's out. We do have Milan who's going to try and place down one of these early wards. Tramp is obviously going to be able to get some good vision of this, and might even be able to get a D ward unless Milan had some inkling that Tree was over here.
So annoying when there's just this lumbering big brute invis in your jungle who can stun you and steal your bounty rune. There's no worse feeling. And they're not going to find him either.
Well,
they'll know he's here now, but Milan's in a
oh my God, they're just going at him. They have the Orb of Venom, and Terrorblade pops Metamorphosis. Aloha Dance gets first blood in the enemy jungle. I mean, if you're going to pop it, you get that cooldown going at 140. Why not?
Fair enough, I guess. But like, why is TB here? His safe lane is very far away. His safe lane is a long distance away. But now you don't have meta for like zoning the Darkseer, which is it's honestly relatively important that you stop him getting level 2, right? And you just pop meta, shove him to like half HP. With the help of Rubik, you can maybe force a salve or force the shrine. But now Darkseer will definitely have an easier time getting level 2.
Well, I think they're running it aggro, it looks like. They're sending the Nyx and the Rubik up towards the top. I'm not sure if Silent is going to stick around. It's a very weird setup to this laning stage already, though.
What's happening? Oh, Treant wants to snipe the courier mid as well, hey?
Jehor, he should be able to keep this alive, though. He's going to do a good job of just ferrying out that bottle, knows the tree could be there, or rather just the salve, and then he'll head back.
Well done, J4. Good job. This is why you pick support Clockwork, everybody. So you can bring salves to your mid laner.
What a guy. Oh.
No other reason.
Oh, and this is so frustrating. Taking Mana Burn level 1. Already Darkseer, a hero that has trouble with this, but he is still going to be pushed in a little bit with the double Ion Shell.
Okay, that's cool. And they TP Rubik down now as well.
Mid lane. G dropping very low. The Sunstrike hit him as well, but we'll just be able to salve again.
Milan's in trouble bottom.
Yeah, they caught him. Milan pushed into the creeps, but That might actually end up keeping him alive. Silent still raining him down. No, he's gonna die.
Silent bought him a lot of time there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that idea was.
Oh, Sioma needs to juke it out here. He's invis, and Skarter not going to be able to find that tree. Invisibility.
This again.
Well, do they want to go in again on this? They pull him back in to the cogs. They've caught him now and doing a good bit of damage onto J4. It does look like Silent is already going to drop down fairly low and is going to die as well. So 3 kills at this early point in the game. No order is being had in this one.
What's going on, Lyrical? Every lane just like battling it out. I think going back to the original idea up at top lane, yeah, this Nyx Assassin with mana burn level 1. We've always seen CIS teams, find nifty ways to deal with Darks here. Previously, it was, like Clinks from Funnick back in the day. And we had Gyrocopters and Juggernauts buying, Blades of Attack at level 1, just getting damage to hit the creeps with. But Nyx with mana burn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it really does hurt 3-3 a lot. He's forced to head back into the jungle. Granted, he's still all the way up at level 3 and has got 600 gold to boot, but you can see how maybe even maybe a support Nyx or something could make that work as a zoning tool. I don't know. Something to think about in the future, as Rubik is going to get caught. They use the telekinesis, stun the Crystal Maiden, and push to the low ground. Silent's been practicing his support.
A little bit. He had a few interesting... is Milan just dead?
Oh my god.
That poor Crystal Maiden, honestly.
Herb of Venom, it's a good item. Already a hero that does a ton of damage, and then you add into that, it's going to end up being another 15 magical damage on top of it. Why not? Plus the slow.
Why not? I'm actually kind of surprised. Kaiser's doing very well mid lane. I guess with the Alacrity, he's kind of out-damaging the Mirana, but I would have expected G to do a little better. Maybe it's because the roaming supports haven't been roaming, they have just been locked into this bottom tri-lane versus tri-lane, where it has been very awkward for both teams involved, as Milan's going to find out now. Yeah,
they pull him back in, going to break down the trees, and just leaves an open path for Aloha Dance to farm up those cogs and farm up some heroes as well. But yeah, I think that, and also that early rotation from Clockwork burning the salve, meant that Invoker could probably play a little bit more aggressive than he would have been able to otherwise. So G suffering. It's not the worst in the world, though. He's now about back even with the Invoker.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Invoker does have to be kind of scared as well. He's not got raindrops. Gone for null magic stick. And Brown Boots coming out to him. Actually doesn't have the full magic wand. It's just the items to go with it. I thought he'd be bringing it out, but Sioma's going for the courier snipe now, hey. It's flying. They've just made it flying.
I mean, well, can he still get this if he times it right?
No, maybe. 2 hits. Yeah, he's got it, dude. Oh, no, yes! God! Shoma the Slayer, my man, what are you doing?
That moment of panic, you could see it right there. It's like, oh, get the courier back right away. But
you just had to let the punch go. That's all you have to do.
Well, top lane, Nyx Assassin might be under the impression that there's some heroes in the area. He doesn't have vision, but with Juggernaut, Garter just running in with the Ion Shell, he's going to find him here and maybe going to be able to find this kill. They do still have Spike Carapace, but obviously not going to work super well, and no more Ion Shell on Garter. Afterlife should be able to get away from this, I think, because I miss a kill down in the bottom lane. Sioma stepping too far afoot. They're still chasing Afterlife. He's gone the whole way around.
You keep watching Afterlife, dude.
All right.
Keep chasing that. Oh, he escaped.
The most... I don't know if that's Jukes or not.
I wasn't watching. I was watching mid lane. There was another kind of mini fight where they went on Invoker. He ghost walked and then turned around to hit the Treant. Then they went in again on the Invoker when he was low HP, but he escaped, and the Clockwork managed to cog the Treant next to the tier 1 mid. So that's how Shoma actually died. They just went and tribe mid lane.
All right, I like it. It's important to do that type of play. J4 now is going to try and go for another wraparound. There's still some pressure up towards the top. We'll keep our eyes on it out of the corner of our eyes. But as you guys can see, Kaiser now getting gone on. Sioma is here. They're bringing in the Clockwork to the top as well. Looks like Kaiser will Lilith through that. But now going on to Silent. Battery Assault slowed down, and that should be enough for the kill. J4 picks it up.
That's so disgusting. So the other day we saw Cloud9 first picking Clockwork a lot in their past couple of series. And they do some really cool things with it. They've got like Ricky Cloud and Phoenix Sunray into the cogs when you trap them in with clock. This is just straight up J4 running at people. There's no nuance, there's no trickery. It is just, I'm gonna walk at you, I'm gonna battery you and do this shit.
Aloha Dance in trouble down bottom. 3-3 gets a solo kill. That's not the way that's supposed to go.
Afterlife might be in trouble top as well. J4 doesn't get there in time. They did initiate under the sentry ward.
But you do have G in the area. There is going to be the healing ward down. Now trying to chase for Garter. They have the leap available, but didn't want to end up going for it. Instead, they turn on to J4. He's chasing down Afterlife. J4 manning up. Jukes is going to end up working there for Afterlife as he gets away, but nobody dies in that whole exchange.
Yeah. The cogs pushed the Knicks away from the Sunstrike that came in from Kaiser. That's going to feel real bad. You throw the perfect Sunstrike and one little movement from the Knicks gets him pushed away by the cogs. That's kind of sad. But how did TB die bottom lane?
It looked like Darkseer just ran him down. He didn't anticipate, I guess, either like the Ion Shell damage or something, but then they ended up surging and vacuuming to find the kill in the top lane now. They're going to catch Milan. Almost dead. Is going to die there. They do find that. There was a close call as J4 almost saved a life with the cogs.
I see now. So the TB was only level 5 still when he was bottom lane. And he's gone for this 1-2-2 build. Like, early reflection was for the aggro tri-lane, right?
Yeah.
And he's still holding out for the idea of getting a point in Sunder.
Right.
Mid lane, is Invoker dying?
Oh my god. Everywhere. Just all over the map. It's 9 kills, just under 8 minutes. It's feeling like... The thing, too, about it that's so weird is that there's so much movement around the map. Like,
Show my career. He's got it. He got it this time. He got it. He did it. He did the 2-punch. He punched it twice.
Well done. That's the completed wand for Garter. So we'll be missing out on too much because of that, but a nice little boon to the side of Vega as far as gold concerned. But yeah, it's like everybody's just running around doing random things. Like the laning stage is gone. It's over.
Defunct. Top lane TB might die.
Sunder. Nicely played. Sunstrike still coming in. They're not going to be able to get it. All he had to do was Sunstrike right on top of him, but now chasing in a little bit further. Rio in trouble. They're almost going to be able to find that kill, running him down. 3-3 on top of him, and they are going to find that kill. Still the Impale comes through. Darkseer should end up paying for this one. Vega wasn't able to keep their Terrorblade alive yet again.
Oh, man. And you can see there the positioning of the Sunstrike from the Invoker was very clearly him adjusting to the cogs, pushing back his last target as Kaiser's stunned with an arrow mid. And
Sioma is also going to end up dying on the top lane. It's just non-stop action. Sunstrike comes through, finds the kill. Silent now trying to get run down by J4, but the Impaled Nyx Assassin comes in. Afterlife gets that mana burn, almost dead. They're not quite going to be able to get it. Milan is just running around crazily as well. Reflection comes out, slowing down Milan. Body blocked with the illusion as well, and it looks like they might be able to find this kill. That's one going into the favor of Vega.
Oh. G nearly found the clockwork on the back end as well. The cog saved J4 when he went up the ramp. Very, very close. But yeah, back to what you were saying about the laning phase just not existing. This has been non-stop. Like, it's not even just like 1v1s or 2v1s or little ganks or smokes or movements. These are like all out, 3v3, 4v4 brawls around tier 1 towers. It's actually insane. No one does this. I mean, okay, Garter is still farming bottom lane and he's getting back up to where he should be. I'm kind of worried, though, for Vega about this Darkseer.
Yeah.
He has had a lot of farm. They didn't shut him down in lane because of the way, they did this aggro try. They had an advantageous matchup for the Nyx, but it didn't, destroy the DS. He could just go back into the jungle. There was no pressure there on him to stop him from farming. So it was just a trade-off anyway. There was no real gain from Vega by giving them that lane matchup.
Yeah, and I think that part of it, too, is the fact that you have 2 kills on this Darkseer, both of which are on Aloha Dance. Sorry, the Rio. I need to get used to his new name. But it's something where, if you kill that highest net worth hero, you're in a ton of trouble, and this is the hero that's going to make space for the Invoker to get crazily out of control. And I think that right now, you do see Vega Squadron identifying that this is something that might be a problem, and they're going to go right now onto the Invoker. Telekinesis comes out, and they should be able to find that kill. So they're solving some of the issues, but they still need to make sure that they can find kills on this Darkseer.
That was very close as well. Kaiser nearly got his Ghost Walk off. Silent did have a sentry, but was relatively far away. But even a fraction of a second more leeway given to the Invoker, and he was away. Like, he was escaping there for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I think killing the Darkseer is very important. Like, stopping this mech coming out is a requirement of Vega.
Oh, and well, there is Darkseer now coming in. They have no Sentry Ward down, though, but they still find the hook shot, jump away by G, trying to get him. There's the hook. It is going to be Sunstrike to boot. They find that kill. Nicely done by Kaiser. Still trying to run down Silent, but 3-3 with no more vision isn't going to be able to make it happen, and looks like Sioma will also slink away.
Nice. Still got the Mirana, though. That Sunstrike. Kaiser's finding his groove in this on this Invoker. He's still a fair distance away from his Hand of Midas, though, which is really unfortunate. Maybe this tree kill will give it to him? No, they've got no dust. Oh, they do. It's on cooldown in the backpack of Clock.
Yeah, and he will just make that escape. They almost got the kill onto the Darkseer in the top lane, too. 3-3 gain a little bit too exuberant, sticking around for a little while there, and well, he wants to finish off that mechanism very quickly. Almost has enough gold for it, as Nyx is stalking Kaiser.
Yeah, that's the thing. It always makes me question when Darkseers like this save their money for so long. Oh yeah, he's bought pretty much all of it now. Never mind. I've seen Darkseers go back for a Hand of Midas. This Kaiser is dead.
Yeah.
No buy.
I mean, that's the thing that's frustrating too about his Afterlife. Not only was he setting up to kill him, but he was also soaking his experience that you want on that Invoker so badly. He sat there for 2 camps.
Oh. That's sad. But yeah, I've seen Darkseers go back for like Hand of Midas or Force Staff Rush, things like that, instead of the Arcane's mech if they feel that they need those items, you know, faster than the mech. But with the 5-man of PD coming out so strong with a healing ward added in as well, pushing Terrorblade drafts back into their own base is super strong.
All right, they do have the Sunstrike now onto Aloha Dance. It's not going to be there. They get the Sunder off. The 3-person Impale Afterlife hits it big, and J4 in a hell of a lot of trouble. They're going to kill him off, and meanwhile, the Rio able to walk away from this one. They're going to be able to bring down Garter to boot. 4 dead for Prodota.
Silent's the fucking carry now. He steals Blade Fury, sits in the middle of 3 people and kills them all. Triple kill on the Rubik through 1 spell.
That was
Silent's
glorious.
Feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, that was gorgeous. And, you know, the whole team was sitting there the whole time. You saw, the other thing about that was that it was a silent rotation with Afterlife through mid. After they killed Kaiser, they placed down this ward up on the high ground spot, that big rotation up, and then they just punish it incredibly hard.
And now Darkseer has mech after the fight kicked off.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty sad. Well, G is 1,000 gold away now from his Aghanim Scepter. Been a while since we've seen this. I was wondering maybe if he goes for the right-click build on Mirana with like Dragonlance, Maelstrom, Lincoln Sphere, and things like that to give you actual right-click damage output. But Ags is such a good farming tool. It means you don't have to go for a Hand of Midas or anything along those lines. Like the Invoker, 14 minutes in.
Yeah.
Finally gets his Hand of Midas. That is like at the very edge of the do I still go Midas question.
I mean, the thing, though, is we've seen time and again how much comeback gold can change the state of the game. And really, Invoker, all he needs is those levels to really become a force. Is it something where this is not too far out of reach for Prodota, or do you think that those 4 kills up in the top lane were such a backbreaking move?
It was more of an annoyance. Like the fact that Vega had to fight kind of in between their tier 1 and tier 2 top meant that they couldn't shove into any other objectives. They couldn't take Roshan.
Oh.
They were all burnt very low.
That was a really good response there from Garter. He almost got hit by the Impale and would have been dead by G, but got the Blade Fury off as soon as the Vendetta came out.
Nice.
Sorry, though, I interrupted you in the middle of it.
Yeah, no, it's just the fact that Vega couldn't like capitalize on a team fight win. They couldn't go for objectives. Metamorphosis was down. They've got it up now, and they'd love to go and take tier 1, but I feel that PD are still in a relatively good position just to defend their towers.
Oh. Vacuum used. And it looks like also the scan that caught all of Prodota meant that, you know, obviously there's not Vega going to get caught off guard by that. There are 3 heroes grouped up.
It was a Radiant scan looking for the Treant. That's why the vacuum dusted.
Okay, got it.
But the trouble is the scan triggered red by illusions as well. So a TB illusion like barely walked into the scan radius. And then it went red, then they were like, shit, there's a tree in here. They popped their dust in the vacuum, and it was just a TB illusion.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Well, it is still going to be some damage onto the tier 1 tower. Terrorblade forced back after the fact. Still does have Metamorphosis up for a long time, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to get anything out of this. These illusions don't stay in meta form when you walk away from them. So, okay. Metamorphosis down.
That's a big struggle they have. Consolidating leads, converting into objectives. I am not sure. I guess the fear there is one of you gets hookshot Sunstruck and you just die immediately.
Right.
Because PD still have a lot of, like, basically Garter is the only one that has been showing for the past minute and a half on bot lane. So there are 4 heroes, like, unaccounted for because of the lack of dire vision in that area around top tier 1. Okay, Milan, that's just, like, not acceptable to be there.
Yeah.
You're just gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, in the rest of the heroes, I think that he wanted to show that there were still some in the area, but obviously it didn't end up working out because this was a smoke gank that was coming in, and they are going to be able to find Afterlife because of it. Whether it's going to translate into a kill or not is kind of questionable, as you do have Silent in the area as well. The vacuum back could enable it, and yes, they are going to be able to find that kill. Now 3-3, chasing further forward for Silent, wants to go at him, but we'll finally call off the charge as Silent steals Surge.
Surge is not the best spell from Darkseer that you can steal.
Yeah.
Oh, Ags is done for G. This is, again, another scary point for PD. They're all low on mana. I don't like the way they're posturing on this tier 1 when their 3 main teamfight heroes are on like half mana.
Oh. Garter with the Omni Slash cancel there to force the leap from G. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a little bit sketchy. It's weird though, because I feel like maybe they feel like they need to get stuff done because they haven't taken a tier 1 tower yet. But by the same token, it's only been their tier 1s that have been taken, and they still have one up in the top lane. I feel like they still can hold out a little while longer before they need to press the issue too far.
Oh, for sure. I think they realized that once they did like a bit of damage to the tier 1 mid, that they're up against, living armor treants, so even if they do chip damage, it's not worth it. If they had 1 pair of arcane boots, I think it would have been fine, but Darkseer doesn't.
Oh god, Kaiser's in so much trouble. They're going to surge forward, find that initiation, and Pale to start off, and that's all that they needed to find that kill onto Invoker, who's been so heavily shut down in this game.
Obliteration. That was just immediate death for Kaiser's Invoker. And now 3-3 is actually shoved pretty far up. He goes for the quick TP, he's out.
Good decision. Milan, maybe caught
no,
again.
Dude, you can't be here. This is not where you live.
Yeah, that's an easy peasy one. Milan 0-8. It's a hard game for a Crystal Maiden to be sure. You've got Treant there, you've got, Nyx Assassin. He just gets eaten up for breakfast, but still, it's tough.
Okay, it's a hard game for CM, but there are at least 3 times where he's walked very, very far forward. Most of the time, you can kind of, have the rationale that he's, tanking his life for information to see if there's a smoke gank coming or to see where the treant is. But when you're not planning to fight around that information or use that information to, gain something yourself or stop yourself from losing something big, then it's worthless, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. Maybe, Garter is dead again, so Prodota Gaming, it's looking rough. They still have solid pieces in here in the late game. You've got Juggernaut, you've got Darkseer. All of these heroes scale pretty well, I would say. CM maybe not so much, but they got to make it work, and they found, at least for the moment, Silent. Can they get the kill, though? They have the Blade Fury, still taking a lot of damage to the Sunstrike. With the healing, it's not going to be nearly enough. They take down the Clockwork, now turn to take a little bit further forward. Can they kill off this Darkseer? Almost dead, trying to run him down. Vacuum into 2, the CM ulti as well. It's enough to take down 1, but will not get another. And the arrow also finds Darkseer. They find that kill. G on top of him. Meanwhile, they almost are able to bring down the tree, but they don't have nearly enough damage. That is going to be Kaiser dropping as well. 3 dead. Garter wants to come back in to fight some more. He gets the Omni Slash off. Can he kill off Afterlife? Is going to be able to find one. Now, with that Shrine ready to pop, they can run down G possibly. This would be a big kill if they could find it. They have another chase with the Blade Fury, but it's not going to be enough either. And looks like Sioma might be the one to be found out here. And Bash, he couldn't get the Blade Fury off, and it wouldn't have mattered either way. They're going to buy back on 3-3. Want to get him back in the fight. G is still sticking around here. And now they're trying to run him down. Sioma almost dead. J4 is going to die. Oh, God. What is happening?
Okay. We'll just make sure that G doesn't die here first, right?
I'll take that.
Or maybe he kills Milan. Maybe he just kills Milan. So, do you know how this all started, Gabe?
How's that?
This started with a CM dying mid.
Yeah,
CM
it's true.
CM dies mid, has to respawn. That means the Juggernaut is up top farming pretty much alone. Doesn't like. I'm not saying that the Juggernaut is doing a good move to go and push up alone aggressively, but he has to like fill the void that's created by the CM dying. Then the fight kicks off. And Vega obviously have the numbers advantage because the Juggernaut's dead. That's a good Sunstrike. Don't know if it kills Silent though.
Oh, no! Garter, get there! Get there! No! They got the land telekinesis stun, and they're not going to kill off Silent.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But yeah, it was just this like very, very serious domino effect where one error mid lane by a CM causes like missteps by your teammates, and you know you feel stronger than you are sometimes. As Chris Maiden again is caught way too far up.
Well, maybe feeding for her team here. We'll see if they can make something happen with Afterlife. There's going to be an arrow going out and doesn't quite connect, and Afterlife able to run away. There's the vacuum as well. The Impale connects on the backside of the Juggernaut, but there's the search forward. They want desperately to find this kill. The Deafening Blast to disarm the Jug, and now Garter's just forced to run away, but G has him in her sights, looking, seeing if they can find him. Leap back up into, if they can get into range. Not quite there, and is going to be able to find Garter. Not quite going to be able to find that kill as the Omni Slash came out in time. Now Garter is still going to follow, though. So they kill off the Juggernaut, they kill off the Nyx Assassin. The CM ulti is doing a lot of work. Can J4 find this kill? He catches G in the cogs, ends up breaking it, and finds that kill as well as he chases down further for Sioma, and that might just finally be enough to make a couple kills work in the favor of Prodota Gaming. What's been a rough couple of minutes. Sunstrike not on Silent.
Yeah, PD finally get their act together and fight as 5. They've realized that the Terrorblade has like not been part of any of these engagements for the past 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes, and PD just exploited that massively. They fought 5v4, they found the targets they needed, they sure got initiated on by Nyx Assassin like running forward, but PD found their groove. They found the way to win a team fight, but it's still a scary prospect that the Terrorblade wasn't involved. He was farming, he was breaking tier 3, gets denied by Kaiser there, but this Terrorblade is all of a sudden going to be an absolute monster to deal with. Lyrical, he's going to run down lanes and just destroy bases.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, that one team fight, it works so well, but it's while Vega Squadron were pushing with Aloha Dance. He takes the tier 2 tower, he ends up pushing it further and deals so much damage to the tier 3 that it's down to 17 HP with just his illusions being, and he sends one more in and ends up getting denied. Like, now they have access to shrines, they're going to have easier access to Roshan. If, in your opinion, do you need to sort of, like, try and reformat your game plan if you're pro Dota? Is it only 5-man from here on out?
That is the question, right? I mean, Lyrical, that's the question of the patch, pretty much. You know, looking back at the Kiev Major and looking at games that are being played now, there is such a fine line between 5-manning and having, you know, the 4+1, where heroes like Spectre became very popular during the Major for this reason, is that you could split push. Terrorblade is similar position once you have Boots of Travel as well. You have him sit on a lane and enter fights when you need him and not have him, you know, wasting time. But it is a fine line. Like, Garter could technically do the same thing with his Juggernaut. Darkseer can do the same thing as well. Run down a lane and split push a little bit and return to fights when needed. But they're not itemized to do so. It's S and Y and Maelstrom coming through for Juggernaut. There's a team fight build for 3-3 on this Darkseer. He's even heading into a BKB after his mech.
Wow.
Like, this is super defensive. Like, I do not want to get stunned and blown up by a Mirana. I don't want to get hit by a Nyx mana burn 4 times in a team fight. So I think the signaling, the kind of flagging there from PD through itemization is that they will be focusing on 5-man. But I think it's very obvious, you know, what Vega needs to do, and they've already been doing it. Just continue ratting and hitting buildings.
And I think that Terrorblade is one of the best heroes at this stage of the game right now. You see that tier 2 tower barely go down, and instantly all he does is send illusions off over and over and over again. Illusions, illusions, illusions. And you can't stop that damage and heal it back up from, like, they don't have the tree in this game. So really frustrating, I'm sure. In the meantime, G continues to push out these lanes, be a bit of a butt, and yeah, Terrorblade's a good hero.
I do want to say, I forgot to mention it after the team fight mid, because it extended for so freaking long.
Right.
But Silent has played an exceptional Rubik this game. I've watched his last, like, maybe 4 or 5 games, and I haven't been massively impressed. Like, he's had some amazing moves, but his consistency has been sort of left a lot to be desired for, right? But this game, he's been consistently good with his initiations, where he's going, his movements have been fine, except, like, one telekinesis he did at bot lane. But his spell stealing, like, he's got Tornado now, he's had Blade Fury 3 or 4 times at the perfect moments.
Oh, God.
Afterlife.
He's able to get out of there. That Nyx regen, though. So, Garter.
Dead, though.
Oh, my God. Milan, run away! Run away! 7 HP. Leech Seed, 9 HP. Run, little Milan, run! Can they find that kill? Not quite there. Okay, she sticks around, turns to fight, might be able to make something of this, though. Can they get a kill? Silent! No, he has the tree arm, and Deafening Blast is not going to bring him down either. They have caught Sioma now, and at least they get something. Oh, lordy. Lordy, lordy. Poor Milan. That's a better death, though, right? Like, you find a kill in return, right?
Yeah, 100%. He got a trade that is like, oh, nice Sunstrike as well. Kaiser finds the Rubik all the way back there.
Yeah, no vision either around that area. They might have caught like a glimpse of him or something by that range creep, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. It was like in darkness. TB's doing Roshan though, and this is the freedom that TB has been given this game, right? You know, split pushing bot, farming mid. G has to leap away from bot lane.
Do they have any dust here? They have caught him, and that is a huge kill. They drop everything for it though. Sia multi to boot. That was Kaiser that picked it up. And he has a BKB after Aghanim Scepter. Wow.
BKB after Ags on Invoker?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it again, same reason that Darkseer bought one. Mana Burn is one hell of a spell. Like, you do not want to be, like honestly, BKB saves you from maybe 3.5 mana burns or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because he's forced to use it on a different target and then the cooldowns overlap. But who does he, like, he has to throw it on Maiden or Clockwork, which he doesn't want to do. I kind of like this. But at the same time, I always feel BKBs are infinitely better, like 4th or 5th or even 6th items. The fact you get the surprise factor later on, the 10-second BKB comes down much later as well.
And down bottom, Silent, he's been able to catch out Garter with a little bit of help from the Sioma ulti, so they find that kill. It is a rough game right now. And that's the thing, too. You have so many... I guess it's mainly just Tree, though. Like, Tree is the main way to break the spin TP. But having anything at all to do it, just... It hurts for this Juggernaut the entire game through.
Yeah, and when picking Juggernaut into a tree, you know, it's probably not one of the things you contemplate is, can he cancel my spin TP?
Oh, Afterlife comes in. He's found the Invoker. He's not been able to pop his BKB as of yet. He's going to pop it now, trying to run away, and they're turning down 3-3 as well. They maybe could think about turning onto this one. They have the wall, the drop down if they want. Milan is there. They have the CM ulti. No, but the stun comes through, and G has found him. There's the wall, drop down onto the Rio, but he's still alive. They're running down and killing off J4. Might be able to find somebody with that Sunstrike, but as the fight goes down on the south side, Afterlife had found the Invoker yet again. G killed off J4. The Rio chasing. Has the Sunder available? Not quite there. It's the Sunder. The illusion, but still gets out.
Good micro from the Darkseer. You know, I want to tell you something that is really sick, and I don't see this too often. Darkseer has a plus 120 damage talent at level 15, and you know, so often we see Arcane Boots or Tranquil Soul Ring or Boots of Travel and Darkseer, but Treads DS, you are a conehead that punches people. You just like 3-punch the Rubik. It's ridiculous amounts of damage.
That's pretty great. Yeah, and when you have Iron Shell on top of you too, it's a lot of damage. You can run people down.
The trouble is now, though, how do they defend base? Like, losing a team fight as 5 and having TB Aegis on your doorstep, taking down another tier 3.
Yeah. This is looking from bad to worse, and soon to fall.
They have to like perfect combo hookshot into everything, basically onto one target, blow them up, and then see where the fight goes. But
I will say, one of the better spells in the game at dealing with this is Crystal Nova. You get that 50% movement and attack speed slow, but they need the follow-up, right?
That's the thing, that slows them down, but it doesn't halt or stop them. Like, they don't feel afraid because of a crit. Like, that's the thing. Like, when defending and attacking high ground, it's all about things that you are, like, afraid of dying to or afraid of losing a fight to.
Yeah.
And I don't think PD have anything other than a Blink Vacuum Wall, and Darkseer has gone for an Echo Saber to punch people more. So he doesn't have Blink or Force Staff.
That's why he got the BKB.
Dear me.
All right,
Oh, he's playing Blink next. Okay.
I am actually so excited to see this work. If there is a team that I want to come back more in Dota 2 right now, I don't think I know it. And they have found G.
Oh, the Darkseer's not there.
No, he is. Look, punch, 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 punch. That was mainly a lot the Omni Slash, I think. Is G really going to get away here? All right, no. Kaiser finds him.
You should be honored.
Cutting off the retreat. He did more damage than an Omni Slash did. I don't know if you saw it, but between slashes, he got his Echo Saber punch off, and Mirana lost like 200 HP or something, 170 HP. It's pretty nice.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. I mean, he has to be sort of sticking on the back lines on the supports well. Maybe Kaiser in some trouble now. They do still have that mechanism waiting for the BKB to wear off of the Terrorblade. Can run forward for this, but Silent has found him. They pull him back in. Still does have that vacuum wall, holding onto it for the moment. Could end up dropping it now if he wants to, but it's not a great target. It's only onto one. There's the Sunstrike, comes in. Can they kill him off? Rio able to be force stabbed away, stays alive, and now chasing Afterlife. They need to get vision onto him. There's going to be the Spike Carapace. Disarmed for the moment. The Aegis did pop.
He has Blink.
Looking for that opening. Another catch. They found the tree. Kaiser is still there. They're going to chase him down. The Overgrowth, though, as well. And it's Carter able to get off the Blade Fury, running down Sioma the Slayer, but Milan caught on the south side. Again, this team fight is devolving into madness, but the big bad guy in front of everybody is going to be the Rio as he runs down, chases down, and kills off Kaiser. And meanwhile, G has been taking the base, pushing in the creep wave. Oh, God.
So many things happened that fight. PD, tunnel vision, they saw targets they wanted to go for, and hell, they went for them. They found a couple of really good kills. But then they got so caught up in the chase that they didn't realize that Aegis had expired on TV, healed him back to full, he returned to the fight. Mirana, like you're saying, pushed an entire lane at top, just shoving the creep waves all the way into the base. You've got to be focused on objectives here as PD. You can't just think, I'm a Darkseer, I'm going to punch people and run into the middle of these team fights.
Well, he's going to punch people.
In a position where they're on high ground again.
Oh, God. They run in. They catch him. He still does have that Solar Crest, a little bit tankier than he would have been otherwise. Can he get it off? Is going to get Mechanism and BKB. Pops the Shrine now, turning to fight. G pops his BKB as well. The Tornado connects onto 3. Where's the follow-up? The wall. It doesn't hit onto anybody. And now they're going to chase this further. Cold Snap onto that Terrorblade. Force staffed away, though. Movement all around the map, and it does look like Vega's going to be able to escape from this for the moment. Garter can't even take down Afterlife, and now they run back in again. The 4-person Overgrowth, there's a Meteor down on the Sioma, but he's just going to TP out.
He TPs as well. Oh my boy.
All right,
Afterlife might lose it.
Well, there's the Spike Carapace down, the Vacuum onto 1. Silent there, stealing something. It's Blade Fury again. So maybe a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, they finally get a tier 1. But you know what's really annoying? Is when you see the perfect setup for like a 4 or 5 man vacuum into wall, and your Darkseer has an Echo Saber and no blink. Like, okay, he mech'd and BKB'd and he healed himself up a shrine and was ready to get back into the fight, but he had no gap close. Like, his Invoker Tornado 2, they caught another one with Cogs and another one was like turning to fight as well. If he had literally a blink or a Force Staff, that would have been an amazing fight for PD. And like literally a, like a game-turning fight for them.
Oh, totally. And I guess my thing here too, as we see G stalking Kaiser, but still Ghostwalk, I can understand the idea of the build in a lot of ways. Like, you want to be able to run down supports and kill them off, and you rely upon like your Invoker to be the one that finds the kill on the Terrorblade. But by the same token, the biggest problem in this game right now for Prodota is the Terrorblade. Like, it's so hard to deal with him that I feel like you have to have that movement like you were talking about, the blink dagger.
Oh yeah. By no means am I saying this is always a bad build. Like Echo Saber DS, I've seen in my pubs and it's worked.
Oh no! Silent is gonna get ran down though. That might be enough. There's gonna be the Sunstrike connects on the Rio. He pops the BKB though. Turns to fight. JO's gone. 3-3 forced to run away. Wants to turn up and fight. Come at me! Darksayer punches. Let's go. They got the Frostbite trying to kill him off, but the Meteor, it's not going to be there. He's able to run away from it. Now 3-3 in a hell of a lot of trouble. The CM ulti is not going to do nearly enough. BKB pop for 3-3, trying to run away. They hit that shrine, and buyback from the CM wants to get into this fight. Omni Slash hits a hell of a lot of illusions, but nobody else off the back of it. And 3-3 out of mana now, soon to be out of life if he keeps chasing this further forward. They have him a little bit on the run, Vega Squadron. Sunstrike comes out, Afterlife forced away, but still does die.
And then there's just Shoma the Slayer sitting in the enemy base, TPing away as a tree and hiding in invis. That was pretty good from PD. That was pretty good. They caught and isolated the TB, who was relatively far forward, forces him to BKB Sunder, Dragonlance to get away downhill. An exit kill is nice, but defending your tier 3s is like the most important thing. You're buying time. Now your DS has Blink Dagger. Finally, 3-3 has that initiation tool, which he has so desperately needed for the past 37 minutes. But Roshan's alive. And that is your next big fear as PD, is dealing with a TB having Aegis.
Yeah, it was the thing that allowed them to just push so unobstructed previously. And, you take a look at some of the items that we have online now at this point. You've got yourselves like the Scotty on the Terrorblade. He's had it for a little while now. Looking now towards the butterfly as well. I don't know exactly how you deal with that once we get to these later stages, but maybe stealing the Aegis away, if they can do this and do it in time, which they can with the Solar Crust, this might be enough.
This is huge for them.
Oh god, they're coming in though, are they? No, they're not. Afterlife walking in towards the Roche. It's too late.
Do they find any kills?
All right, Afterlife push back. Garter is there. They have the Spike Carapace. Now Rubik has stolen Cogs, pushes the Clockwork with his own Cogs. Now what you want to see, Arrow coming out, a little bit off the mark. J4, though, should be caught, and we'll see if Prodota get into Save Your Buddy Syndrome or not. No, they just retreat.
Yeah, full retreat. Clockwork isn't like a necessary component of your high ground defense. It is pretty much Darkseer Invoker, which is why DS can't die here.
Oh, good BKB pop. Now turning, wants to punch down this Nyx Assassin. But that's BKB now. Oh, Silent with the plays. He pushes Garter back. Is this going to be enough to bring down Garter? Silent in a little bit of trouble. They do bring him down very low, and now Sunstrike, Vacuum Wall combo. Silent almost dead. Is he going to fall? Yes, he does end up going down. The illusions from the Terrorblade too strong from that wall.
Yeah, they finally get it done in a team fight, but like I said earlier, bottom lane.
Yeah, and Afterlife, he hits a 3-person stun. They're running forward for the Rio. Want to try and take him down. Garter, though, has far outstepped his willingness. He has the Omni Slash. That's going to be at least the Aegis down. Now 3-3, getting chased down. As you said, the bottom barracks is all but dead. They can't kill off that Terrorblade. They can't even stick on with an Omni Slash. G jumps in the wall, vacuum back into it a second time, but Garter, he's still going to be forced back, and they just don't have anything. They can't stop this.
Yeah, losing a full lane of racks just to a Mirana while you bust all of your teamfight abilities and don't even win the teamfight fully at mid is a really awkward situation. Afterlife just spamming mana burn. No one ever has any mana for PD in these teamfights. They're forced to use shrines and BKBs. Okay, you see that? You see the punch?
Oh my god.
That's the Darkseer punch.
Okay. That was pretty sick. I mean, it might not be worth it to lose the whole game, but that moment was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. But yeah, PD, they did the 5-man meme, and Vega really did exploit that.
Oh, definitely.
Pretty much from like 18, 19 minutes, they kind of realized, oh hey, we have a slight advantage, with a TB, but like 3-4k net worth ahead. Things are going pretty nicely. All we have to do is like split push. We are under no obligation to get forced into fights against a Darkseer Invoker. When we have Mirana and TB, you can just clear waves instantly. We have 2 invis heroes between Treant and Nyx who have been scouting the entire game and gaining valuable information from where ganks are coming from.
Man, and I saw down there as well, Milan just like ulting creep waves. They need to be able to push these out, and she can't do anything to really stop it. In the meantime, looks like they stole Healing Ward. Garter is going to drop, and now 3-3 as well. That's game.
Yeah. I believe this is where you type the thing that ends the game,
Well, it was a very anticlimactic way to finish it off, but it sort of seemed appropriate given how the rest of the game went. Prodota, there were moments where it looked like they could have done it, but Terribly just got too big and they didn't have an answer.
Yeah, it was like hype, team fighting, skirmishes, the first 20 minutes, non-stop fighting, and then Vega just realized, oh, this isn't how we win the game. We win the game by dodging fights, and then they did that for 10 minutes, and then the game ended pretty much.
Yeah.
It was massively outfarmed. You compare like the Juggernaut and the TB, right? Compare their net worth and their damage dealt. It's just there's no comparison. Garter basically has half the net worth, and damage-wise, what was the difference there? Like half the damage as well.
I'm trying to do these overlays. There's an overlay for the overview screen, but there isn't one for the other one.
Don't bother using it.
No, it looks amazing. It looks great. I want to do it, but I need to show this stuff too, all of the stats and everything.
Yeah. There's no overlay for that, I don't think.
Okay. Well, I'll make an overlay. How about that? It'll be great. It'll be beautiful.
Excellent.
But yeah, so Prodota Gaming in game number 2, what do you think it is that we need to see that switched up to sort of make this work for them? Do you think it was the clockwork that was really the problem, or do you think that they just need to like ban Terrorblade?